What is up? Hey, welcome live every single Monday, 3 o'clock Central Standard Time. I can never sleep on the weekends.
No.
Because I'm Cody Askins,
Jacob Van Helden,
Secure Agent Mentor, and SecureAgentMentor.com. Today is all about street cred.
Yeah.
Just about building credibility, building trust, building rapport. What are some of the things that you can do to build credibility in yourself, build rapport with a client, build trust with a client.
Right.
It's easier to close a sale when they like you, believe you, and trust you.
Oh yeah. People buy from who they like. People buy from who they trust.
It's true.
You may not have the most price competitive product in the world, but if you can build trust in you, build trust in what you're saying, and build trust in your product, you can sell it all day long. People buy from who they trust.
Yeah.
And
I mean, think about it. Think about it. When you go to a car lot and you buy a vehicle, you buy a car, you buy a truck, whatever, you're probably not going to buy it from someone that you strongly dislike.
No. Because
the buying process isn't enjoyable.
No.
Or if you think that you're with a sleazy salesman that you can't trust, that everything they say is that they're full of crap.
Yeah.
That you can't believe a word that ever comes out of their mouth. You don't believe them. You don't trust them.
Yeah.
There's no credibility. There's no rapport because they're not trying.
Exactly.
And then you won't end up making a decision. You'll end up going somewhere else and buying an inferior product just because you like them, believe them, trust them, and you feel comfortable.
Or it could be the exact same product for the exact same price. If you had two vehicles on two different lots, and Lot A had a sleazy salesman, Lot B had a salesman that you could trust, it's same price, same car, same everything.
Yeah.
You're going to go with Lot B because you trust that person. You trust that everything they're telling you is true, that the price they're giving you is the best price you can possibly get, and that what you're buying isn't going to crap out on you in 6 months.
Exactly. And the same exact thing works in our business,
It does.
in the insurance business.
Yeah.
As an agent, you need people to trust you.
Yeah.
Believe you. There's enough sleazy salesmen. I don't care if you're a car salesman or an insurance salesman. There's enough of us that are sleazy, that people can't trust, that we aren't doing a good job of establishing rapport, building value, building our street cred, as we're calling it today. But I mean, seriously though, it's important for them to trust you, like you, build credibility, build rapport. I think one of the first things that I sell people, but I do it in such a low-key, respectful, kind, caring manner that they don't feel sold.
Yeah.
They feel kind of almost like they're selling me, or that it's a partnership here, that there's cooperation, that they can trust me, that they like me. The more they like me, the more they trust me.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it just all works together.
Well, and especially if you approach your sales process as solving a problem, not selling a product,
I like that.
That is a really, really huge way to build rapport. When you go in with the mindset of I am here to solve your problems. I am here to fill the gaps that you feel like you need protection in, instead of, hey, here's this final expense product. Hey, here's this term life product. Hey, here's this IUL, GUL, whatever it may be. If you go in with the mindset of, I know you have a problem, and I'm going to figure out what that problem is, and I'm going to solve it.
Exactly, which is exactly why the first two steps of our appointment process are warming up and then fact-finding.
Yeah.
Fact-finding, building value, qualifying, learning about their health. You can't sell something unless there's some fact-finding that happens.
Oh, yeah.
If they don't need it, want it, can afford it, and it's not a good fit for them, then we wouldn't sell it to them.
Exactly.
And you shouldn't sell it to them, but if there's that fact-finding that happens in the front, where you're like, hey, what do you have? What do you need? What are you comfortable with? What can you afford? What got you thinking about life insurance? Who would your beneficiary be? How would you pay for something like this? I mean, paying for something like this is important. Being able to afford something like this for the rest of their life is important.
It's huge.
Being able to have someone that has an insurable interest to leave the money to is important. It's all important. It all works together.
And you have to get those fact-finding things out. You have to get those facts out so that you can build rapport, you can build value in your presentation. Because what I tell our people in our call center is everything that they tell you during the fact-finding process is ammo for the close at the end.
100%.
Hey, Miss Betty, you told me that you have nothing right now. You have absolutely no coverage.
And if you'd
right
love
now.
to have something.
And you want some. And we got something that I know you can afford. You need it, you want it. Why don't we just do this?
Because you know, baby.
Miss Betty, you know that you need this. And you know you do not want to leave your family without protection when you pass away, because the financial burden stacked on top of an emotional toll of losing a loved one is just unbearable.
And then start to move them in your direction. Hey, I know at the beginning of the call, you weren't sure how this call was going to go, and you didn't think you'd be making a decision today. Am I right? Well, yeah, you're correct. Now that we are how we are, and we are getting along phenomenal, and you're comfortable with me, and we love each other already, you can see yourself doing something good for yourself today, right? I mean, I can feel it that you're going to be making a decision that we should have made previously.
Yeah.
Am I right, Miss Betty? Do you feel it too? Are you feeling it, Betty?
Come on, Betty.
I mean, once you start to do those things, you can start to, even though they may not want to make a decision, they're not used to making a decision, whatever, it's all about having that leap of faith language, moving them in your direction, slowly earning their trust.
Yeah.
And those type of sales tactics work.
They do. They do. Because I don't care if you're in the field, if you're over the phone, even if it's a referral, there's 80-90% of the time when you initiate that phone call, when you knock on that door and you go into the house, they are not planning on buying today.
Yeah.
Most people are not planning on buying today. So what you have to do is you have to build your rapport. You have to build your value. You have to build that trust so that when you leave that home or when you hang up that phone, you've got the routing and account number. You've got the social. You've got the business. They've been approved.
Then they'll start to do business, and they'll start to make decisions with people, with you, with agents that they wouldn't normally make decisions. We're going to continue this as soon as we get back. I love this topic. This is a blast. We love what we do. Stick around. We'll be right back after this short break. What's up, guys? Hey, part 2. Welcome back. Building street cred.
Yeah.
Ramping up that credibility so that when clients, when you're in front of them, when you're on the phone with them, they are comfortable making decisions with you because they believe you, they trust you, they love you.
Yeah.
I've had clients that I felt such a connection with.
Yeah.
And we were so close, but it was so tough that they were in love with me already.
Oh, yeah.
Within 30 minutes. But I was having trouble getting them to make a decision. I got down on one knee and asked for the sale, as if I was asking the woman to marry me. No joke. And guess who walked out of there with the business? And guess who got coverage?
Yeah.
If there's some excitement to it, and one thing that we forget, and the one thing I want to mention in part 2 is you can build credibility, trust, rapport, value, and they can start to believe you. But what takes it to another level is if there's some excitement, some enthusiasm, that they can feel that you're not the boring salesperson that they normally talk to.
Right.
They start to get hyped up and jacked up and excited.
Yeah.
And when people start to get enthusiastic, their mood starts to shift to being happy, upbeat. It is easier to get people to make decisions.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They will buy.
Yeah. Well, especially with life insurance, it's a conversation about death. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what it is. So it's not a really bright, fun conversation. So if you are a life insurance focused agent, you want to be sure that your excitement is always you want to be at a 10
all the
time. I mean, you want to crank that dial all the way up because we're talking about death here, guys. So you have to make it sound exciting. You have to make it sound like, you know what? I'm going to get you this protection put in place so that when that time comes, Miss Betty, your family is protected. You have nothing to worry about. They have nothing to worry about. I promise you. You will sleep better tonight knowing that your family is protected. Tonight and every night for the rest of your life. You will sleep better knowing because your family is protected. There is no financial hardship when you pass away.
I like it. And what you heard was some conviction, some excitement. Yeah. He was serious. He was getting into it. He was bringing his heart into building value, street cred, getting the clients excited, enthusiastic, taking them to that moment where they need you as an agent and what you're selling. All of these things work together.
They do.
For the better. And once you start getting everything clicking, everything, and you know what I'm talking about, where you've had calls. We've had calls where you're like, whether it's over the phone or in person, where everything is clicking.
Just perfect.
All the T's are being dotted and the I's are being crossed.
Close.
But things are happening. You're moving in the right direction, and you're a perfect fit with that client.
Yeah.
And you're loving it.
Yeah. And
you can feel it. I am guaranteed to walk out of here with a sale as long as I don't screw it up.
Yep. Yep.
That is, that's why we do what we do, because it is just a blast.
Oh, yeah.
To help people, for people to tell you yes, to lean in your direction, for them to take that leap of faith, for them to trust you, for them to buy your street cred.
Well, and honestly, the way I gauge how credible, even after the sale, how credible I was, is if within the next 2 to 3 weeks, that person starts sending me referrals. You know you have built
that's the ultimate.
So much trust and so much rapport and put so much value into your presentation that when Miss Betty's friend Joanne calls you 3 or 4 days later and says, hey, you were talking to my friend Betty, and you know, she was really happy. She called me and said that, you know, you took really good care of her. You found her some coverage that she could really afford. And she just gave me your number and said that I needed to call you and talk to you about this. Guys, that is the salesman's high right there. When you have done such a good job that they start sending you friends and family, getting those referrals, and that building the trust and rapport in each presentation will just stack and just begin to snowball to where you may not even have to make outbound calls anymore. Your phone may be ringing off the hook all day.
Yeah, that's extremely rare.
Yeah.
But I guess we would love for that to happen. That'd
you put the time in. I mean, guys like your dad, who I don't think have bought a lead in 15 years.
Yeah.
Just because of how good he is at building that trust, building that value.
Once you've been in the business a long time and you've got a giant block of business and a networking group that you love.
Yeah.
This business does get easier. I'm not going to lie and say that it's harder. It does get easier.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
It really does. Okay, so what we want to finish with over these next few minutes is what is something that you may use or say when maybe you're in the boiler room, maybe you're in the call center, maybe you're doing it over the phone. What's something you would do or say to get to at least build some credibility, or get them to move in your direction, or get them excited about what you're talking about? I mean, what's something that our agents can use out in the field or over the phone?
Well, one thing, especially on the independent side, you have a leg up on a lot of people because you work for your clients. You don't work for companies. So if you've got 5, 6, 10, 15, 20 different companies to work through, and that's how we work it in the call center. We've got about 10 different companies that we offer that offer telesales and things like that, and work with how we want to run the call center. But when you tell someone, hey, Miss Betty, I'm a broker. I work with over 100 different companies, and I work for you. I'm not biased. I'm not married to one single company. I'm married to
I'm about to be married to you,
I'm about to be married to you if I need to.
That's where Jacob's going to get down and propose.
Come on, no rings yet. But I'm married to our relationship. I'm married to a business relationship with us where I am taking care of you. If there's a company, if I get you something today, and 2 years down the road, there's a company that comes out who's going to be better coverage for you at a less expensive price, I'm going to call you and we're going to get you set up on that company. Yeah. I want the client to know and believe that I am always looking out for their best interest. And when you can get that client to realize that, hey, he's not trying to push one product on me or one company on me for just this one time. You know, he's actually trying to help me out. He's doing the shopping for me. I don't have to spend 5-6 hours on the internet, you know, filling out 15 different forms to get a quote. He shows me everybody. Here's the best one for me. Let's go ahead and do it.
100%. And they can tell if you're doing what is best for them.
Oh, yeah.
And if you're putting your best foot forward. And if you're helping make decisions. All right, so let's jump into fan mail.
Fan mail.
I love fan mail.
My favorite.
My favorite parts.
Favorite part of the show.
We had a woman say, hey, why don't you ever read any of the comments that the ladies bring up? So
we'll comment more, ladies.
Here we go. Rachel out of Texas says, drum roll. Rachel out of Texas says, what's your best technique for building value? And I would say personally, I always go back to those. I build value throughout the whole call.
Oh, yeah.
I do it by building rapport. I do it during the warm-up. I do it during the fact-finding. But I especially, the value specifically in the company and their product. Early on, I'm building value in me.
Yeah.
Warm-up, fact-finding process, steps 1 and 2, I'm building value in me. Me. It's extremely important. In us, in me, in them and I. But then when I move into presenting and closing, step 3, I'm moving into the time where it's time to build value in the company and the product that they are about to actually send money to.
Yeah.
And so when it gets to that, and I go over those 5 benefits.
Yeah.
And I go over each one. I've got videos on it. I think one video I did how I sold $8,000 of final expense AP in 1 week. On that video, I went through our 5 benefits: whole life to age 100, price lock, double indemnity, builds cash, and local agent. I went through all 5 of those benefits, and I talked about each one along the way. And at the end, I asked them, hey, of these 5, which do you like the best? Which is your favorite? That's how I personally get to build value in the product.
Yeah.
So they know that it's not like all that crap that they get in the mail or on TV. And that's my favorite way. Hey, the main event, awesome question. Appreciate it, Rachel. Hey, the main event, every Monday, 3 o'clock. We have a blast. We love it. Jake, thanks for being on again, buddy. Hey, awesome job. We want to hear from you in the comments. What do you think? Give us a thumbs up if you loved it. Thumbs up if you hated it. I don't know if it's left or right, but there's a little red button down there. We want you to click subscribe, baby, so that when we go live, you get notified immediately. We love you. We hope you love us. We hope you hate us. We don't care. We just know that we're going to keep giving free content no matter what. Have a sick week. We'll see you next Monday.